Local, breaking news. This is News Channel 3, covering West Michigan, live at 5.
A crash in Allegan County kills 2 drivers. We're live this morning with the latest.
I wish she was here right now. because I thought I never could have kids, though. She loved her dad, and I'm a good father to her.
Mourning the loss of his little girl, a Kalamazoo father opens up about the circumstances surrounding the death of his infant. And Galesburg is dealing with a water shortage this morning. We'll explain why some folks need to be rationing their use. Plus, details on why hundreds of local properties face foreclosure today in Kalamazoo County. Today is Monday, April 2nd. Good morning. I'm Marcy Koberger. Josh Rowe has the day off, but it's good to see you here this Monday morning. Thanks very much. Breaking overnight, an accident turns deadly in Allegan County. It happened just after 10 last night on 142nd Avenue, just west of 20th Street in Door Township. This morning, we've learned a second person died in the hospital from this crash. Jessica Wheeler joins us live from Door Township Fire Department with the details. Jessica.
Yeah, Marcy, we're here at the fire department about a mile down the road from where that crash happened, just outside of Door. Now, when deputies arrived, they tell us they found 2 vehicles, one in the middle of the road on its roof, the other in a ditch, and that vehicle was on fire. Now, deputies tried to get the person that was in that ditch out of the car. They were able to get him out of that vehicle and tried to perform CPR, but unfortunately, 57-year-old Curtis DeVrient was pronounced dead at the scene due to his injuries. The other driver, Tabitha Koss, who's 29 years old, from Battle Creek, was taken to Spectrum Hospital in Grand Rapids, where she died early this morning from her injuries. Now, during the investigation, witnesses tell police that Koss was traveling westbound in her SUV when she crossed the center line and struck DeVrient's car head on. They say that he tried to avoid the collision but was unable to do so. Now, at this point, why Koss crossed that center line and struck the other vehicle is unclear. The Allegan County Sheriff's Department is investigating the crash. Reporting live in Door Township, Jessica Wheeler, News Channel 3.
Jessica, thank you. Developing news in Branch County this morning. Police are investigating after a body is found in Butler Township. The person was discovered Sunday afternoon on Ely Road. And those are the only details being released right now. As soon as we learn any new developments, we will, of course, pass those along to you. An infant's death is under investigation in Kalamazoo. Police tell us they got a call that 16-day-old Kimani Jamisha Ruth Blakely was not breathing. Her father, Jimmy Spicer, says she went to sleep on his chest while he was lying on his back. He says after being up for 3 straight days, he fell asleep. He says he doesn't know exactly what happened in between that time, but when he woke up, he knew something was wrong.
And I ran up to my dad's room, and I said, "Dad, what's wrong with it?" You know, God talked to me earlier. I prayed to him. He touched me. I know she in heaven. I ain't want it to be like this, but I know she's in heaven.
KDPS officers tried to resuscitate Kimani but could not. She was pronounced dead at the scene. At this point, investigators say her death appears to have been accidental, but the investigation remains open. A news alert this morning in Galesburg. There's a water shortage in the village after a fire breaks out at the Department of Public Works. The fire started just after 6 Sunday night at a garage on Maple Street. When fire crews arrived, smoke and flames were pouring out of the building. Crews knocked it down in 15 minutes and were able to save most of the village's equipment that was being stored there.
The big dollar equipment did make it, so the loaders and everything they use for fixing water lines and the big dump trucks and all that, yes, that all made it.
The fire chief says they suspect a mechanical failure may have started that fire, but the cause is still under investigation. The mayor says the fire caused an electrical failure with the village's water supply system. Now, that means the only water available right now is in the tower, and residents need to ration water until further notice. The mayor's asking everyone in Galesburg to hold off on doing laundry and to take shorter showers until that problem is fixed. We're told crews are hoping to have the water system fully operational sometime today. In Battle Creek, work on a water valve downtown closes a busy street over the next few days. Starting today, McCamley between Liberty and Hamblin will be closed. The Department of Public Works says water service interruptions are possible, but should be very limited. The work is expected to last 3 days. Detours will be posted. In Kalamazoo County, hundreds of properties are in jeopardy of foreclosure today, most of them in the city of Kalamazoo. A few weeks ago, we found out that nearly 1,000 properties are delinquent on their taxes. If they can't come up with the payments by today's deadline, the county will start the foreclosure process. Kalamazoo city officials tell us they have nearly $6 million of back taxes to collect from the past 10 years. Collections are being handled by the county thanks to a law change in 2009. Which saves the city hundreds of thousands of dollars. County Treasurer Mary Belkema says a large chunk of tardy taxes always come in last minute, and she hopes that means fewer foreclosures.
We've kind of gone from 50 to 100 to 150 to 200 to 500. That's a pretty big spike. So I think this is probably the hardest year, and after that, hopefully, things will get better.
If taxes are paid by today, then the foreclosure process stops. Otherwise, all the properties will be auctioned off in August. A federal investigation is now underway after several car engines catch fire. The fires have been reported in the 2011 Chevy Cruze and the 2010 Jeep Wrangler SUVs. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration says the fires in both vehicles started while they were moving. In both reports of the Chevy Cruze fires, the cars were destroyed. No injuries have been reported, though. Both General Motors and Chrysler say they're cooperating with the investigation. Well, coming up, it's Monday. That means our local expert is in this morning answering all of your tax questions. Plus, early spring weather has tulips already blooming in Holland, and city officials are hoping you'll come out early to check them out. Well, we're now just 15 days away from this year's tax filing deadline, April 17th. And to help you answer any last-minute questions you might have, expert David Jewell joins us live this morning from Yo and Yo. David, thanks again for being here.
Yeah, good to be here.
Always good to have you
Morning.
here. Well, let's get right to the first question this morning. One viewer writes, I installed an energy-efficient furnace in 2011, and I was wondering what the maximum deduction on my tax return would be.
Yeah, good question. By installing an energy-efficient furnace, you actually qualify for the energy tax credit. So it's a credit which is a dollar-for-dollar reduction of income tax liability. The maximum credit for an energy-efficient furnace is $150, and that gets filed on Form 5695, and that credit will flow to page 2 of your 1040. The only thing to be aware of is that there's a lifetime maximum of $500. So to the extent that you've filed for an energy-efficient credit in the past, and that's exceeded $500, you might be out of luck, but otherwise for a furnace in 2011, $150 credit.
All right, good to know. Another viewer wants to know, I'm a disabled vet receiving VA compensation of $560 per month. I also have Social Security disability of $1,031 per month. Do I have to file a tax return?
Without knowing all the facts and circumstances of your situation, it's hard to give a for sure yes or no. What you want to take a look at, though, is for your filing status, whatever that might be, whether it's single or married filing joint, you want to take a look at what your standard deduction is and then the amount of your personal exemptions. And to the extent that your income, that your gross income is less than the sum of those two, then there's no filing requirement. So, like for example, somebody who's single and under age 65, the sum of those two is $9,500. And so based on the numbers that you gave, if you just have the pension and Social Security, the pension is not enough to make your Social Security taxable. So there's a good likelihood that you wouldn't have to file a federal return. You may, even if you don't have to file federally, you may still want to take a look at state of Michigan. If you own a home and pay property taxes, maybe you could qualify for the homestead property tax credit.
Good advice. I didn't know there was any case under which you wouldn't have to file a federal return anymore. Interesting. Well, last question this half hour. Is there such a thing as audit insurance? Does using a tax preparation firm guarantee that I won't get audited?
No, there's no such thing as audit insurance, and regardless of whether you prepare your returns on your own or you have a CPA or a tax prep firm prepare them for you, there's no guarantee that you won't be audited. Everybody still has a chance of, unfortunately, being selected for audit. The best defense, though, obviously, is making sure that you're reporting all items of income and that any deductions that you're claiming you have proper substantiation and documentation for. So no insurance, but your best bet is to make sure that you have an accurately filed tax return.
Yeah, absolutely. Will any firms use this, say that they have this type of insurance? Have you seen that in the past at all?
No, there really is no type of insurance, so just need to file accurately, and hopefully then there should be nothing to worry about.
Great, David. Thanks so much. And stay tuned. David will be back in our next half hour to answer more of your tax questions.